Meghan Markle and Harry's life in Sussex has taken a significant downturn, leaving them filled with unhappiness and devastation. Originally intended to be a significant turning point in Meghan and Harry's lives, the situation has unexpectedly taken a devastating turn for the worse. Greetings, and a heartfelt welcome to the Princess Diana News Channel. Despite the prevalent belief that the influence of the monarchy is diminishing, I would like to illustrate a compelling case that challenges this notion: the exemplary Princess Eugenie. These days, as the UK resumes work, Eugenie has made a significant announcement. The Floodlight podcast series, co-created by her as part of the Anti-Slavery Collective, will be returning for a second season. Additionally, she has secured an impressive guest appearance from former British Prime Minister, Theresa May. This implies that, currently, a member of the royal family residing in Montecito, California has a notable achievement in the field of audio series. We should question whether you have the permission to utter the term podcast. Daniel Ek, the creator and chief executive officer of Spotify, disclosed to the BBC that Meghan's podcast series Archetypes is the sole outcome of their substantial $34 million agreement. Essentially, Daniel Ek suggests that it did not succeed in satisfying consumers. They inquired specifically about the contract of the deceptive Duke and Duchess, and his reply appeared to have been meticulously crafted. "I'm confident that the PR team collaborated extensively and worked tirelessly throughout the night to devise a strategy on how to address this situation. Can you believe that just a year ago, Meghan appeared to be thriving? To be honest, the majority of us were well aware that the series Archetypes was quite underwhelming. In spite of featuring A-list guests, the episodes lacked interest due to their extensive duration. However, despite its launch, the product managed to achieve top rankings in several countries, such as the US. In Australia, however, Spotify's episode charts showed that none of the episodes performed particularly well. By the conclusion of its 12-week airing in early December, the show managed to secure a place in the top 100 episode rankings, with just 3 episodes making the cut. For Spotify, they ranked in the 21st, 73rd, and 90th positions. Underwhelming. These figures hardly justified the massive millions that Meghan and Harry had accumulated thus far. The Archetypes were not considered particularly innovative. It failed to provide any novel or intriguing elements. However, at that juncture, we all acknowledged the fact that Meghan managed to produce some sort of result. Over the course of several years, speculation about the type of podcast Harry would create to fulfill his contractual obligations continued to expand. According to Bloomberg's report, it appears that the ideas Harry proposed to Spotify were severely lacking in thoughtful consideration. Based on his profession, Harry had the conviction that he could conduct interviews with notable figures such as Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. His aim was to delve into their early life experiences, hoping to unravel the factors that led these individuals to become polarizing figures. I'm not entirely convinced that a literal war can be attributed to the absence of maternal love, but regardless. In addition, Harry proposed the concept of a series addressing significant societal issues such as climate change and religion. In terms of the latter, Harry had a strong desire to engage in an interview with the Pope. It came as no surprise when Spotify announced in June that they had severed ties with Meghan and Harry. According to the official statement, both parties have reached a mutual decision to separate. However, the separation definitely dealt a significant setback to Meghan and Harry's ambitions of establishing their own successful content empire. More than 3 months have passed since the announcement, and it appears that Harry and Meghan's foray into podcasting has aligned with Meghan's 40 by 40 initiative. We, just like you, have no idea where it is located. And what about Meghan's previous advocacy for paid parental leave and her purported efforts to promote the ratification of the Equal Rights Amendment? Regrettably, these initiatives seem to have been disregarded and have faded away from public discourse. In September, it was discovered that Meghan's 17-month endeavor to trademark the term archetypes had proven fruitless, which raises concerns for the future of the series. The main concern arises: what has become of Meghan and Harry's aspirations for a podcast? If they fail to satisfy listeners with their audio skills, can they succeed in any other ventures? Their achievements thus far have been underwhelming. So far, their Netflix series has been a mixed bag, with a major success in Harry and Meghan, but a few disappointments in terms of viewership. While Harry's previous book, Spare, had decent sales, it is unlikely that another book by him would achieve the same level of success. Now that they have fully explored their royal troubles, what do Harry and Meghan bring to the table? To quote Daniel Egg, the CEO of Spotify, can the couple find a way to entertain and satisfy their audiences? As early as January this year, during Meghan and Harry's tenure at Spotify, Bill Simmons, the individual responsible for podcast innovation and monetization at the company, questioned Harry's contribution, asking, "What role does he fulfill? Why should we pay attention to him? You were born into royalty and later chose to depart. Your platform offers documentaries and podcasts, but the only topic of interest to people is the royal family, and you simply express complaints about them." Meghan and Harry must strive for success in their chosen professions. The individuals must provide a compelling justification for why others should pay attention to them. Let's put the titles aside and move forward. We must consider each of them as unique individuals. What are the precise skills they possess? For the first 35 years of his life, Harry exclusively served under his grandmother's employment. He was never obligated to cover the expenses. However, Meghan's CV doesn't possess many remarkable qualifications. According to renowned royal biographer Tina Brown, Meghan held the 6th position on the call sheet for a cable show. Certainly, the news of Meghan's latest online venture is still making rounds. Perhaps this will enable their family to finally achieve the financial success they have been desperately longing for. The future appears bleak for producers and content creators, as uncertainty looms ahead. After a prolonged period of labor disputes, the Hollywood strikes have concluded, and the production of scripted content is now back on schedule. Are we going to witness Meghan and Harry's advancement on Meet Me at the Lake? This highly popular novel, rumored to have been acquired by Netflix exclusively for the couple, holds the answer. Is there a possibility that Harry's alleged documentary about Africa will come to fruition? Can they find a solution to ensure the audience's satisfaction? Contemplating the matter, it is likely that individuals within WME and Archewell are currently dedicated to finding resolutions to these pressing inquiries. Luckily, they don't have to concern themselves with the logistics of Harry contacting his father privately for an interview or the complications of coordinating with Vatican City due to the time difference. In essence, it is crucial to acknowledge and appreciate the positive aspects of one's life. Okay everyone, that concludes the update. Now, let's address a vibrant conversation that caught my attention in the comments section of the video. The Spotify CEO expressed strong disdain towards Meghan for her lack of talent and hypocrisy. I would like to share a handful of the excellent comments I've received with you at this moment. Denise is the one who made the initial comment. They deeply remorse squandering a significant amount of money on individuals lacking any discernible talent. They most likely have no one else but themselves to fault for the situation. And later, Janine entered the scene. Why is her story being constantly reiterated? It would be best if we move on and put her in the past. I desire for it to be as uncomplicated as that. After that, Lee arrived. Bravo. I am delighted by the increasing number of individuals courageously revealing the truth. Me too. Moving forward to the next page, we encounter Leslie. If King Charles, in collaboration with the British government, were to strip Harry of his titles, his wife would also lose them. This would create an opportunity for Harry's wife to compete for a seat in the Senate during the forthcoming election. The king is unlikely to engage in such actions. He will patiently hold off until Harry asks for their removal. Unless she divorces Harry, she won't be allowed to enter. Despite any attempts to revoke his title, Harry remains a prince by virtue of his birth, a distinction that is not easily stripped away. Are her efforts to enter the political arena a deliberate distraction, cleverly orchestrated by her PR team to divert attention from the authentic candidate? Oprah Winfrey, the ambitious and morally corrupt billionaire, is known for his close friendship with Meghan Markle as well as his insatiable thirst for power. Meghan Markle strategically plans her future within the Senate and, once she is fully established, Oprah will help her achieve her goals. If that actually happens, we will all be silenced. Both of these users lack any sense of patriotism and are solely driven by a desire for power. Leslie, I greatly appreciate your comment. I find this idea quite frightening. I am doubtful about that. Politically, I cannot fathom the idea of Oprah Winfrey entering the realm of politics. To be completely honest, I cannot fathom a person less appropriate for the situation. If anyone else has any knowledge regarding this information, kindly inform me. It is necessary for us to monitor this situation closely. Moving on, Karen has something to say. The Spotify podcast interviews are hardly worth calling interviews, LOL. Karen, it is indeed true. We are showing great generosity in referring to these interviews. Martha's words were absolutely spot on, exclaimed Princess Catherine. Princess Catherine truly shines, doesn't she? Additionally, even a 5-year-old like Una would outshine Meghan when it comes to podcasting. Indeed, in my opinion, the task of allowing the real guests to express themselves would be better handled by a child as young as 5. Wendy believes that both Spotify and Netflix will eventually suffer financial losses. No sympathy, Wendy, I share your sentiment. I have no intention of showing any empathy towards these large corporations. Their excessive desire for more is the reason they find themselves in this predicament. And there was a comical remark made by Lee that I found to be very amusing. I endured an excruciatingly boring podcast that made me feel like my ears were being painfully torched. Wow, that experience was incredibly challenging. I believe incorporating this series in classrooms would be a valuable alternative to having students spend their lunch recess writing 50 lines on the whiteboard. Afterward, Wanderer. I believe that no child's behavior has ever warranted such punishment. You possess an uncivilized nature. You would have a school where all the children have forced pencils into their auditory organs. No, I concur with your viewpoint. No child should ever be subject to such punishment. I cannot express enough how important it is to understand. I believe this could serve as a more suitable penalty instead of sentencing someone to life imprisonment or even capital punishment. Okay, everyone, we greatly appreciate you joining us. We have reached the end of our allotted time. I greatly appreciate your consistent efforts in leaving those comments. If you appreciate my videos, feel free to show your support by liking and sharing with others who may also find them enjoyable. Additionally, we kindly request that you remember to subscribe to the Princess Diana News channel as a gesture of support before you depart. I greatly appreciate your viewership. Goodbye, and I shall return to visit you later this evening.